Hello Internet, and welcome to the weekly reset, Taliesin and Evitel's Wondrous Wisdomshow. I'm Evitel, and... excuse me one moment.
Hey Evitel.
Taliesin, where are you? Are you coming to do the show?
Yeah, of course I'm coming. When have I ever been late for the weekly reset? I'm on my way now. I'm just, sort of in a kind of a maze.
A maze? Sort of?
Yeah, sort of. Definitely in an actual maze. But I'm not lost though.
How long have you actually been lost in this maze for?
Oh, not long. Maybe like, I don't know, just 3 hours or so.
3 hours?
Yeah, exactly. Like 3 to maybe 6 hours. Not long at all, because it's not like I'm lost or anything.
Well, how long do you think you're gonna be? It's just that I'm alone here now with Taliesin, and he's kind of making me feel weird.
Fighting the Legion every step of the way, savoring every victory, and mourning every bitter defeat. It was all worth it.
He is super hot, I'll give him that, but he's not exactly a barrel of laughs, is he?
Yeah, well don't worry, it won't be long now. I made a map. Actually I made about 3 maps. So, what I'm saying is it can't be that much longer, because I'm not lost.
Okay, well, see you soon, I guess.
Yeah, see you soon, probably. Right, well, it must be this way. Oh my goodness, I've made it! Oh, after all this time, I can't believe I've finally found you!
Knowledge is power.
I couldn't agree more, Khadgar. Come on, let's GTFO and go home.
There is much to be done.
Yeah, tell me about it. Week 2 of Argus is upon us. And after, well, if we're honest, 23 weeks now of our daily WoW experience being greener than Miss Piggy's finger, this was the palette cleanser. We finished up the narrative on Krakoon and moved over to the frankly stunning backdrop of Makari. Oh, except no we didn't, because it turns out I've been saying that wrong all along, because it's actually
Makari.
Unless, of course, it's Velen who's actually saying it wrong, which, when you think about it, is pretty likely. It's been well over 25,000 years since he's been there, and yeah, I know he was born there and used to rule over it and is leading an army to take it back and everything. But come on, 25,000 years? I can't remember the names of people I met 2 days ago, which is why I call everyone mate or dickhead. I think it's quite reasonable to assume that after that long, Velen has definitely forgotten how to pronounce the name of his own city. And actually, I've been saying it right all along, that's all I'm saying. So as well as our usual hour or two's worth of story missions, new world quests, and the introduction of the new invasion points, all of which we will come to in a moment. Right now, let's talk cutscenes, because you know, Internet, how much I love a good cutscene. And this week we had 3 especially juicy morsels to get our teeth into, starting with a flashback to Velen's escape from Argus, and I guess the birth of the Draenei. Firstly, obviously, we get a glimpse back 25,000 years in the game lore to see the Purple Hills of Makari in its prime, when it was the utopian centre of Eredar civilization. But of course, we also get to spend some more time with our favourites, young Velen, young Kil'jaeden, and young Hatoon as well. Now, of course, we know Hatoon more recently as being the leader of the Broken on Kroken, where he welcomes Velen back with the friendly line, "At long last you return to the home you abandoned." Hang on, mate. I literally just saw a cutscene where you said,
Take the others and go, Prophet. We will buy you time.
Which, in fairness, is very heroic, Hatoon. Well played. But Velen did what you said. If you're going to turn around just 25,000 years later and be all like, "You turned your back on your people, Prophet. Such betrayal should meet with death," after he did what you told him to do, it does kind of undermine your heroics just slightly. It's like if Holdor had been all, "Hold the door! Hold the door!" No, wait, I didn't mean for me to hold the door. Guys, come back! There are zombies here! Screw you guys. You told us to go, dickhead. So there's that. But even the majesty of ancient Makari can't compare to the other 2 cutscenes we got this week. And do you know what? If you have managed to avoid any sort of spoiler about 7.3 in those long weeks it was on the PTR, if you didn't watch any YouTube videos or read any articles or even look at the boss list for the Antorus raid when 7.3 launched last week, then I envy you. Because the character who was just casually revealed this week got me genuinely excited. As in, this reveal sent a little shiver through me, and I've known for months that it was coming, so I can only imagine how awesome it must have been to have it as a surprise, because ladies and gentlemen, it's Titan time. Yes, say hello to Agramar, Sargeras' bestie back in the good old days, who Sargeras supposedly killed along with the other Titans when the good old days became the bad old days. Former owner of the greatest of all Legion legendaries, and one of the bosses that we will be facing in Antorus, the Burning Throne. And this, for anyone who follows Warcraft lore, is massive. Now just to put this into context, I've heard some people complaining that orcs have been a bit hard done by this expansion, but look at it like this. Agromar is the titan that shaped and organised life on Draenor. He made Grond out of the earth, whose remains eventually evolved into the orcs. So orc players, when you take out Agromar in a couple of months, you are literally killing your creator. You are killing God. How's that for lore? The second of these Agromar cutscenes does that great new thing that WoW is all over at the moment and places your character in the centre of the action, in the cutscene itself. And I'm so glad they started doing this. Okay, so the unskippable bit as you arrive on Kil'jaeden's interdimensional disco ship gets old really very quickly. But the Order Hall Mount cutscenes were brilliant. And after years of doing all of the legwork, but then getting completely left out of the good stuff, mentioning no names, Mr. Pandaria ending cinematic, it's so cool to see my character right there as the star of an in-game cutscene, about to get squished by a corrupted titan. I want more of these, please, Blizz. Just, you know, not ones that I have to watch every single raid night and not be able to skip, thanks. So as usual, the cutscenes are a big fat win so far in 7.3, but there is much more going on than that. So let's take a moment to round up what we loved and what we hated about Argus in week 2.
We loved invasion points. Yes, they're tiny areas, and yes, as scenarios, they're simpler than a Jake Paul vocabulary test, but it's genuinely refreshing to find yourself in such varied locations after so long running among nothing but dark green rocks. Especially when it's the forest one. If the forest one isn't your favorite, let's be real, there's probably something wrong with you. And I love how the amount of players you find yourself in the instance with is totally random. So you might be making short work of it with 20 fellow adventurers, or it might just be you and one other, which has happened to me a couple of times, and in that situation, those places are no joke. I'm not gonna lie, I die in those scenarios. A lot. But then I die more than I'm used to in Argus anyway, which is something I really like. Mobs often feel overwhelming in their numbers and in their strength. I don't have that completely free run of the place, and that's as it should be on a hostile alien world, you know? If there was more than one graveyard every 5 years, it would be even better, but you can't have everything. For the first time ever in WoW, I'm really enjoying hunting rare elites and treasure chests. I guess that's because I'm still really into farming Argunite, because there's a couple of legendaries I'm trying to target at the moment, but also because there's a chance they'll drop mounts and pets. Apparently, because it's not like any have dropped for me, obviously. It's just super fun right now to swerve off course when you see that star pop up and go kill a monster, and yeah, getting to a chest just as it despawns or realizing it's one of those bugged ones that just will not open is annoying. Don't forget, those big chests that have the force field around them that you can't open, using certain Vindicar abilities, you can open them. Yeah, I know, thank me later.
I love this infernal workshop where infernals are made. It's just really cool.
As for this week's story chapter, I loved it. It was generally interesting, involved, and culminated in defeating Archimonde for the 3rd time in my Warcraft career. Dude just cannot take a hint. And personally, I love a proper old school rep grind with proper mountain pet rewards at the end of it. Legionfall always felt like a rep you had to get because of flying, but Army of the Light and Argusian Reach have nothing you really need, but plenty of stuff you really want. You may well disagree, but I genuinely enjoy a solid rep grind, especially when there's no less than 7 new mounts at the end of it. And I love how much ridiculously harder it is to get Argusian Reach rep than Army of the Light 2. There's just aren't any dailies on the map most of the time, to the extent that when the Argusian Emissary popped a couple of days ago, there simply weren't enough quests available to complete it, which the community loved, by the way. That was actually a bug, which Blizzard say will be fixed by the time it rolls around again, and actually it's worth noting that lots of Argus World quests, especially the profession ones, actually reward Army of the Light and Argusian Reach reputation, but only appear on the world map as Army of Light, yeah. Thank me later. I love this. I just love it.
Things we hated about week 2. Kil'jaeden's disco ship. I mean, it's awesome that it's there, obviously, but someone needs to explain to the Army of the Light that the reason it's there, nose deep into the ground, is because I killed all the crew and then blew it out of orbit. I did that eventually. It's not dangerous anymore, okay? I don't need to go shooting it with your crap cannon to take it out of operation. I mean, I will, obviously, because there's not much I won't do for 30 Argunite right now, but don't go trying to claim any credit for this one, okay, Taliesin? Just don't. This was all me and my guild. They were there too, but mostly me.
This whirlwind thing. When I first saw it, I thought, that looks both awesome and really dangerous. I should definitely stay out of that. But have you tried running into the whirlwind? Nothing happens. Global warming on Argus is just a hoax propagated by the broken Kroken.
I hate how the Argus Waystone cap means that every time I complete an invasion point now, I get an in-game mail telling me it's giving me lost currency, but which included no currency, obviously, because I'm already at the cap. My mailbox is just filled with these pointless mails, and that's mildly annoying.
The Relinquished Gear Vendor. I love how quickly you can farm currency for this guy, but so help me, if I get another piece of versatility gear from this dude, then I'm going to shove it down his non-existent throat. The problem is because the gear you buy can be any piece of 910 gear in that slot. That opens the door to a disproportionate amount of PvP gear, which all has versatility on it. So I know that's the perfectly logical reason why a lot of the gear I get from this guy is totally useless for me, but still, it doesn't make me hate him any less, and I still hate the steps.
And last but not least, there is of course no flying on Argus. Now, this is hardly a surprise. If you've been playing this game at all in the last 4 years, you'll know that when Blizzard open a new continent in an expansion or a new zone in a patch, you are invariably going to find yourself grounded for at least the time it takes you to explore the area by foot. And the reasons for that, I'd have thought, are pretty obvious. Flying is brilliantly convenient, but also quite impersonal and trivializes a lot of the content. Love the way flying is handled now or not, our Broken Isles Pathfinder achievement was never something that was going to follow us to Argus, where the devs are trying, more than ever probably, to create a sense of exploring alien terrain, danger being around every corner, and of trying to fight against the odds for our very survival. And it's good to see that on the forums generally, I think the community agrees that that is the best path to take for this particular zone. That even though they might miss their flying mounts, they can still use them everywhere else. And it's great to see people appreciate that the devs want us to experience the game in a certain... No, it was a shit show. Obviously. I am sick to death of these flimsy excuses! Hey WoW devs, you don't like coding, planning and testing flying? Then quit and work someplace else. They continually treat us as if we don't matter, make them listen, unsubscribe now! Anyone claiming to enjoy this is either a troll on a forum or a munitions troll in game or has low standards, probably plays checkers because it's also thrilling. The map is already a ruined, dark, dank cesspool that makes Detroit look good. Now, I know we're a bit late on this one, but not as late as you'd think. All of these comments are a week old, and the reason we didn't talk about it last week is because I missed it. Because I spent most of last week on the EU forums, and you may find this hard to believe, but while this is a massive issue over on the North American forums with multiple filled up threads on the subject, it's an almost non-existent issue in the EU. Like running out of your favourite high caliber rifle ammunition. This is a specifically American problem. Like the World Series or Olive Garden restaurants, flying on Argus just isn't something that Europeans seem to care too much about. So, to be honest, I'm probably the wrong person to talk us through this shit show. Luckily, we've got an actual real-life American that we like to keep handy on this show who can help us unlock this one. So, Evitel.
Yeah.
And can you confirm for the camera, please, Evitel, are you in fact an American?
I thought you were going to ask if I'm pregnant.
Are you pregnant?
No.
With a little American baby? As an American, what the fuck is going on in the US forums? Why do people hate the idea that there's no flying so much? Because I can't quite get my head around it.
I don't really know what's going on with that. I think it's the whole, like, I paid for this, you need to please me now.
That's actually what I get from it, because when I was going through the forums earlier, because like I say, I just had not experienced this on the EU forums. I know it's a big thing in WoD.
They're so salty.
Yeah, exactly. And like there's literally just threads and threads and threads about it. And it really does seem to be this sense of like, I am a consumer, and the fact that I can't fly in this bit of a computer game is not consumer friendly.
Yeah. Well, I learned how to fly, I put in all the work to fly, and now you take it away from me.
Do you know what?
I get it.
If that's your opinion, it's a valid opinion.
Yeah.
I get it. I just don't I just don't relate to it, I guess.
Yeah, and I get it. And like running around Argus is a pain in the butt. Like,
but it's a fun pain though, isn't it?
It's a fun pain.
Like, do you not
in the
find
butt.
it quite exciting? Like, I find it, like, I like when I'm running around that I see a pack of mobs and I have to think about it. I'm like, I size them up and I go, can I take those mobs or are they gonna like hurt me?
It's a pain, and they stun you and they slow you and they knock you off your mount. It feels like I have to work for something, whereas flying is just so easy. Yeah. And it's nice when you can fly when you feel like you've earned it.
Right.
But like I'm on a like fucking planet. I'm somewhere far away from home.
Yeah, well that's what I kind of feel.
Riding my nightmare unicorn.
Is it like the same as going, I earned this awesome gun in Contra, fuck, that's my age. And I don't get it on this level. This is shit. This is shocking. That's how that level of the game has been designed, is that you don't fly around it. So you don't fly around it. Like that's just how it's been designed.
Deal with it.
Fine. Yeah, and maybe if I like flying, it's not as fun to me as zones that are flying, and I get that, but being angry and feeling cheated, I'm feeling like your consumer rights are somehow being sort of neglected or something like that. I can fly anywhere else in game apart from Silvermoon, for fuck's sake. Yeah. All right, devs, before you let us fly on Argus, let's fly on Silvermoon, because that shit is fucking annoying. Yeah. Other news that we didn't have time to write a piece for, but which we will mention now because it's just happened, hot off the press, is that Blizzard have opened a special arena, or they've taken charge of an arena in California.
Is this
obviously.
like an IRL arena?
An IRL arena.
Like a real
Like
place.
a real life kind of indoor stadium, I guess.
And
it's
what
for esports.
happens?
Esports.
An esports arena.
Overwatch and Hearthstone and maybe a tiny little bit of WoW as well. Every now and then, when they've got nothing else to do, there'll be some WoW in there. What do you think? Would you go along and watch some proper Blizzard esports?
Yes.
You would, really?
Yeah.
Do you love Blizzard esports? Is that like your thing? I've never heard you talk about it before, Evitel.
No.
I've never heard you be all like, yeah, gonna watch the game,
but
man,
I'm just saying,
of a weekend.
If I was there, like, I think it would be fun and weird and cool. Like, do I eat hot dogs, like, while I'm watching? Like,
why wouldn't you eat hot dogs?
Like,
I can't help but be disappointed by it, because when I first saw the headline, for some reason in my head, I thought it was a Blizzard theme park.
Aww.
Obviously, I was just really tired or whatever. I was like, a Blizzard theme park? This is going to be amazing.
What ride would you ride at the Blizzard theme park?
Khadgar.
I know.
And there'd be like an Argus zone where you fall off a cliff and you can't get back. And you're stuck. Just stuck.
You can't fly in this theme park.
No, it's a
walk through this theme
non-flying
park
theme
on your
park.
Feet.
Now, because today in the post we got this from Blizzard. They sent us this. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, here we are. It's a canvas print. It's very touch it. How does it feel?
It's
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
You like
texture.
That? Yeah, it feels
got
pretty good.
real
Okay, stop
texture.
touching it. It's the Argus print, the key art. The temptation to keep this for myself was high.
The colors are really like vibrant.
They are
It's
very
pretty
vibrant,
cool.
aren't
It's
they?
very crisp.
But we're not going to do that, Internet. Because instead, we're going to give it to you. Because Blizzard said we could raffle it.
Yes.
So, just in case there's any legal ramifications about that, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to raffle it. We're not going to set a question even or anything like that. All you have to do to win this by the next weekly reset, you have to comment in the comments of this video. And your first line of the comment has to be, I agree with Taliesin. And then underneath, you can write a whole other comment.
Sure.
That's absolutely fine. But as long as your first line of the comment is, I agree with Taliesin, that will enter you into the raffle to win this Argus key art.
These comments are going to be great.
And that's pretty much it from us today. It's only been about 4 days since our last weekly reset.
I know.
So that is 2 videos a week, mate.
That's crazy.
There just happen to be 2 weekly resets. We are on schedule. If you liked this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money to help support this channel, which is pretty amazing. And without them, particularly at the moment, and we all know why, this video would not exist.
No.
If you didn't like it though, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Soul.
You've done Soul already.
Yeah, I know, but I liked his video that he did today. No, I'm not Soul. My name is Taliesin.
And I'm Evitel.
And from both of us here, until next time, cheerio.